We're talking about our values. We kicked it off this week, and as we talk about our values, if you haven't seen the sermon, please go back and check it out. But today I just want to press in a little bit and ask you to continue that work of identification. We said we'll identify our values, clarify our values, and fortify our values, all three of those things throughout this whole series. The identification is the starting place. I got to identify my values. Joshua chapter 24, verse 15 is a great little verse, says, if serving the Lord seems unreasonable to you, then choose you this day whom you will serve. What you value is where you put your energy. It's what you serve. It's what you give your life and attention to. In other words, tell me where your attention is, and I'll tell you where your values are. So when I don't recognize that my values drive my identity, they really do. They drive the stories I tell myself. My values do. So if I value what people say, and to some degree or another, we all do, when I value what people say over what God says, I become a people pleaser. When I value what God says over what people say, I become a God pleaser. So where are my values? What do I value the most? Remember, I said this week, your values are less about what you tell people, it's what you behave like in front of people. Values are more caught than they're taught. I can tell you all day that I value something, but if that doesn't show up in my behavior, then it probably is not really my core values. They're aspirational values, but they're not really values if they don't show up in how I live. What I focus on, what I give energy to, what I serve is what I value. If I value possessions, then my possessions define me. If I value being possessed by God, in other words, if I value that He owns me instead of what I own, then being God's child will matter more and drive my behavior. Your values drive your behavior. So, what do you give your attention to? What are you focused on? What do you value? I'll see you tomorrow.